In the last 4 years of running a wholesale business, I have tried every, and I mean every method of finding motivated sellers. In this video, I'm gonna give my personal experience with each one, give my pros and cons, and explain which ones I'm using in my current business today. This is the guide that I wish I had when I first started out, so I didn't have to go through all of the outdated methods of trying to find motivated sellers. By the end of this video, I promise that you will have at least one of these methods that you can walk away with and start using within the next 24 hours. Now, before we dive into these methods, we first need to go back to the basics and get an understanding of why somebody might be looking to sell their home. In other words, what makes a motivated seller motivated? Someone who needs to get a property off their hands fast. They're not gonna spend time looking for a realtor, doing open houses, none of that. Usually need to liquidate a property for fast cash now, even if that means they're not able to get market value. They value speed over the dollar amount. Some of these situations that these sellers might be going through is they're inheriting a property that they don't want, they need to move for work, they're tired of being a landlord, tenants aren't paying rent, they just got a vacant property that's been sitting there for years. It's super important that you ask the right probing questions so we can get to the heart of the why. Why are they selling the property? If you've seen my cold call videos before, you see that I really try to empathize with the seller and I really make it known that I'm genuinely there to help them out and make their life easier. There's gonna be two parts of this video. First, we're gonna be rating all of the ways to source these leads, grabbing your list. And then the second is gonna be the marketing methods. So let's start with all the ways to source leads / grabbing your data. Because before we get in contact with any of these people to see if they're interested in selling their property, we first gotta know how to find them. Method number one, pulling county lists. Pulling county lists like probates, foreclosures, tax delinquents, these lists provide high quality data intended for cold calling, SMS campaigns, and direct mail campaigns. These records often indicate high intent to sell, whether that's now, immediately, or in the near future. We have closed numerous deals and have seen significant success by pulling these types of lists. I actually closed one of my biggest deals from county data. Now, who is county data best for? This method is recommended for experienced real estate wholesalers. The competition in this space is fierce and success really depends on phone skills and a proven sales process. And without those two things, competitors will crush you if you try to get this data. Now, the pros with pulling county data is that you're getting high quality leads with a high intent to sell the property. Now, some of the cons with pulling county data is that number one, the effectiveness really depends on the skill sets that you have. And number two, the way that I pull county data here in Chicago is gonna be completely different than how you pull it in Tampa or over here or over there. It really isn't nuanced because the steps to get that depends county to county. Our wholesaling business today is still pulling county data and we're mainly hitting the probates and the foreclosures. Now on to method number two, we're gonna be talking about mass data sources, third-party websites like PropStream, Batch Leads, Deal Machine, Kind Skip Tracing, those websites. Within our wholesaling business, this is actually our primary source for getting data. You're still able to get probates, foreclosures, tax delinquents from this list, but in my experience, I love it for finding absentee owners and vacant properties. So if you're somebody who's having a hard time trying to get these county lists and how to navigate through county websites, these third-party websites already did a lot of the heavy lifting for you because they found it. The things that I like best about pulling data from these third-party websites is that it's a high volume of leads and you get consistent results. Now, some of the cons about these third-party websites is that you kind of got to feel out which list type is best for your county. Whether that's probates, foreclosures, tax delinquents, tired landlords, high equity, you name it, you kind of got to feel out which list type is going to work best for you in your county. Now, another one of the cons that has to do with third-party websites is that it's widely accessible. Anybody's able to get it, and you see so many people talking about PropStream, Batch Leads, you name it. It's very widely accessible, which means competition could be a little bit more high than going directly to the county to get your data. Now on to method number three, driving for dollars. This is where you find an area to target, you're going up and down the streets, either in person or on Google Maps, building a list of houses that are distressed. This is how I was able to close my first handful of deals. Driving for dollars is hands-on and it's a great way to get a feel for your market and understand the values within your community. It's also great because you are able to identify actual distressed properties and make sure that you only have distressed properties within your list. Now, driving for dollars is best for beginners that have a good amount of time on their hands and don't have a lot of money to invest into their wholesaling business. I can go on and on and on about all the pros about driving for dollars. It's personalized, it doesn't cost any money, it's your list, every single property within that list is distressed. I can confidently say driving for dollars is one of the fastest ways to get your first deal closed. Now, some of the cons about driving for dollars is that it is a little bit time intensive and it's not very scalable. Also, if you're somebody that's not really trying to build out a whole business around wholesaling and you kind of want to just do deals from time to time, driving for dollars is going to be your best friend. Although driving for dollars does hold sentimental value to us, we decided to pivot and use methods that are a little bit more scalable as our business grows. Now that we know know how to source these leads and get these lists, let's now go on to the marketing methods and how to actually reach out to them. Some of these are gonna be outbound direct response marketing where you are reaching out to the homeowner to get a response. And some of these are gonna be inbound marketing methods where the homeowners actually reach out to you. Marketing method number one, cold calling. There's no question about it. Cold calling is a key component to our business today and honestly a personal favorite. We've made a ton of transitions when it comes to cold calling, from doing the cold calling ourselves to using other marketing agencies to handle the cold calling for us, to now transitioning to a call center in Egypt where we brought all of that in-house and we own the call center now. Delegating cold calling has significantly streamlined our operations, allowing us to just step back from lead generation and allow us to just focus on other parts of the business that we can continue to scale. Now there's three ways that you can go about cold calling. You can manually cold call off of your cell phone. You can get a triple line dialer or a software to help you make more dials, or you can hire VAs or marketing agencies to do the cold calling for you. Quick rule of thumb, no Google Voice, no triple line dialer, call off of your cell phone if you're doing Drive for Dollars. If you're doing mass list pulling, you're gonna wanna get a triple line dialer so you can make as many phone calls as you possibly can every single day. Now in terms of who cold calling is best for, everybody should be cold calling, whether it's you, your VAs, or a marketing agency. Everybody needs to be cold calling. It's scalable, it's reliable, and once you get to a certain point, you're able to focus on higher level business tasks. Now, as far as the cons of cold calling goes, it does kind of depend whether you're doing it yourself manually or on a triple line dialer, or if you're hiring out. In that case, it's gonna cost you an initial investment to hire out somebody, and then you're also gonna have to train them. And then if you're doing the cold calling yourself manually, it's gonna be a little bit time intensive, or if you're on a triple line dialer, you're gonna have to be calling for about 2 to 3 hours each day. All in all, the pros weigh out the cons heavily, so make sure you are cold calling. Marketing method number two, text blasting / SMS marketing. Through our experience, SMS marketing can involve a significant amount of administrative effort, and it also is a little less effective for our target demographic, which is people who are 50 years and older and prefer phone calls. This method is best suited for people with very, very limited time and just kind of want to do this for a part-time thing. SMS marketing would probably be the last thing I recommend to any new wholesaler, but the one pro that I can think of is that it is an additional touch point to get in touch with leads. Me and my business partner stopped SMS blasting a while ago, and we no longer prioritize it just because, again, it isn't suitable to our target demographic. There's also a bunch of new rules and laws that are constantly coming out with text blasting, which makes it very inefficient. Now that we've discussed the outbound direct response marketing channels, let's go into the inbound marketing channels, starting things off with direct mail. Now, even though this is an inbound marketing channel, you still need to build up a list of houses, a list of addresses, so you can send the mail to them. Now, I don't recommend just sending any sort of mailers to just any sort of list. You want to make sure you have high quality data. And where do you find high quality data? Well, I already told you, county lists. From our experience, we've noticed that it is very, very effective for our target demographic. You know, people are always getting stuff in the mail, and a lot of these people that are 50 years and older tend to look through all of their mail. Direct mail is most suitable to experienced wholesalers with a budget of around like $3,000 a month that they can put towards this marketing method. And not only that, you need to have a long-term commitment of at least 6 months. The pros that I like most about direct mail is that you're generating warm inbound leads. These guys are calling you after you sent them a mail piece. It's also very simple to manage. The cons, it does require a little bit of experience with wholesaling and you need some financial commitment. In 2024, we put a pause on direct mail to focus on higher performing channels, but in 2025, we are going to be reintroducing it with a monthly budget of around like $3,000 to $5,000. On to the next inbound channel, pay per lead, PPL. In the past, we honestly had a very poor experience with PPL and lost a lot of money. I do feel like a lot of the issues that we were facing with PPL was kind of out of our control, but it is a good channel to dip your toes in to get a feel for what PPC is going to be like. Now, I don't recommend PPL to anybody. I am a little bit biased just because I didn't have the best experience. However, I do know some people that do have good experience with PPL and would recommend it to people if you have a monthly budget of around $3,000 to $6,000 and you're able to set aside about like 6 months towards this method. The pros about PPL, it is a fast way to turn on digital marketing to receive inbound leads for your business. The downsides of PPL is that you don't know where these leads are coming from. You don't know what the quality of these ads that are getting put out, whereas PPC, you have full control over that. The reason why I stopped PPL, I lost money. On to the last inbound channel, PPC, pay per click. I can't lie, there's not too many bad things that I have to say about PPC. It's a great channel for generating warm inbound leads. And not only that, from our experience, we've noticed that the lead quality is much higher than most of the marketing channels that are out there. In our business, we've seen a ton of success with PPC and we do plan to continue using it throughout the years. I truly think PPC is gonna be a channel that is gonna stick within the industry for a very long time now that our world is moving a lot more digital. If you can spend around $3,000 each month for 6 months minimum, I highly recommend trying out PPC. High lead quality, and you're talking with sellers that are ready to make decisions fast. Now, the only downside is that it does require a consistent budget, and you do need a little bit of an expertise within the wholesaling industry. Our future plans with PPC is to up our budget to around $5,000 to $10,000 each month. Now that we've covered just about every method to finding motivated sellers, the main one that we're using today is Kind Skip Tracing. That's another third-party website that we absolutely love. It's similar to PropStream, Batch Leads, all those other third-party websites. We've just found the best success with Kind Skip Tracing. We'll pull tens of thousands of records on a month-to-month basis, send it over to our call center in Egypt, and they'll just rip dials every single day. Doing so, we're getting around 200 plus leads on a month-to-month basis. Since we're only focusing on mass cold calling within this last year, we've really been able to refine our systems and processes and overall operations. So now, come 2025, we're gonna be able to rip PPC, we're gonna be able to rip direct mail, we're gonna be able to rip these inbound marketing channels that's gonna make us a shit ton of money. Now, I wanna highlight something that I haven't really talked much about on this channel. There was a 9-day period in the month of October where the members in my inner circle generated $121,000 in assignment fees. Some of the people in here are as young as 20 years old, and I want to invite you to be a part of this. If you click the link in the description, you can learn more about this program and receive coaching directly from me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.